Welcome back to View Rule. I am giving away this 3-pack blister of Evolving Skies. I am also giving away 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. Once we reach 6,000 subscribers, all you got to do is be a part of the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. It's really that simple, but take that one extra step and make sure you comment on the correct video for the entry on the 6,000 subscriber giveaway. Go over to this video here. That's the one where you need to actually leave a like and a comment, although the ones today can help you out with my weekly giveaways that I do. Let's dive in. Sword and Shield we knew was going to do well long term, but it has really exploded in the past few weeks, really. There have been just some crazy spikes almost all across the board. I only went with anything that was with Trainer Gallery, and then the top 2 sets out of it that didn't have Trainer Gallery. It's going to be the Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike. So we'll take a look at booster boxes and Elite Trainer boxes from a handful of these sets, because those are the ones that are really spiking quite a bit, and booster boxes tend to do this once you reach a certain point in time. Once you get to a certain point, you get away from the higher market price, or at this point in time here a year ago it was about MSRP still, or just a little over, because I think it was like 140 was MSRP for Sword and Shield. So it went a little bit over to than MSRP just about a year ago, and then finally we got a little traction here on Silver Tempest, moving up, and then we just shot up at the end here. We're sitting around 360 right now on this box here. Pretty wild stuff. I mean, Fusion Strike makes sense. You got the Gengar, you got the Mew VMAX, you got some good alt arts, things like that, but also it's a hard set to master. It's a big set. $850, is that right? Well, $710 is what we're saying here, $710. Although recent sales are saying $850. Let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, $850, $850. Bring it down here, $850, $875, $800, $800, $810. And that's getting a little bit away from us here as far as dates. They don't sell that often, it looks like, but they are going up in price quite a bit in the $850. I mean, just looking at this here, I wanted to stretch it out to a year, but it just gets all weird and wonky. So looking at the 3-month here, how fast it went from $475 to these sales going in the $850 range. Good to see it. Good to see it on some of these. And for those of you who are thinking, oh man, I missed out on Sword and Shield, you didn't. You just weren't a part of the hobby then. This is the same thing we see over and over again from set to set to set, from era to era to era. Booster boxes go up. With enough time, have some patience, don't overpay for them. But things like Surging Sparks, I mean, yes, it's expensive. $250 for the booster box, I get it. That's a lot to go after since MSRP is at $160. Hard to digest that at first. However, if you don't plan on opening it and you want to hold it for 3 to 5 years, and I know it's a long time, but 3 to 5 years, if you hold it, you'll be looking at $400, $500 for that booster box, no problem, because it's Surging Sparks. It's going to do well. It has some really cool chase cards in it. Same thing for Destined Rivals. Will Stellar Crown, will Journey Together do the same thing? No, they're not going to do the exact same thing, but they're going to be in the Silver Tempest kind of league. They're going to be in the Astral Radiance kind of area, where they have something good going for them. They're just not amazing, and over time, with enough time, again, 3 to 5 years, you will see them take off in price. I don't know if they'll get to 400 in the next 3 years, but they might get to the 280 range, you know, in the next 3 years or so. And we'll have to see. Astral Radiance sitting here with the booster box all the way up past 400. We're at 404, and I think the recent sales are going higher than that. Most recent sales are putting it 430 range. Brilliant Stars, similar price actually to Astral Radiance, which is surprising because this is the Charizard set. You got Arceus in there. There's like, I think there's 5 different Charizards in it, and the Alt Art Charizard is really great to see. It's a wonderful artwork, really unique, different style. The fact that he's battling it out actively with Venusaur. It's from behind the view, for the point of viewer, it's from behind, so it's just totally different feel. 435 is what we're saying in market. 450 is what we're seeing on some recent sales for that one. Lost Origin with that Giratina, we know that's going to do well there. Still, it's been shooting up over time here. We were a year ago in the $200 range pretty solidly, and then it moved into that boom era we are in now for Modern, and this thing started to climb because Modern was hard. If you're going to spend $250 on Surging Sparks when it's coming out, why not spend $250 on Lost Origin and get a hold of it? Why not have that as an opportunity to open? It's something a little different. Get back to that yellow border. Maybe have a chance at that Giratina. And then things start taking off. And that fluctuation in the market means people opened it. They didn't just buy it to invest. People moved it, they opened it, and there's a lot of other people who are buying it to invest. So you have a lot of movement on the market. And usually when you have movement on the secondary market, typically people are not going to be moving again quickly. So that creates some scarcity. All right. That scarcity increases prices. There are so many of these out there. We can talk about it in terms of it being scarce. Technically, yes, it's more scarce than it was upon release. However, it's not scarce. It's out there. There's tons of these. There are tons of these for the booster boxes availability, but the price is getting to be out of reach for most people here, sitting around $522, $544 for some recent sales there. Lost Origin Elite Trainer box now hitting to that $100 marker, just about $96.78. 98 on most recent sales. Yeah, we're about $100. You had some shipping. There you go, spot on. Silver Tempest, I was actually surprised to see this one going up so far. $80 for this one, because Silver Tempest has kind of been looked down upon. It was the last Sword and Shield set to sell out on Pokemon Center as far as booster boxes and other ancillary products, to be honest. But it's finally got a lot more range, a lot more clout, because time heals all things, right? It heals the problem of FOMO in the hobby, and it also, for people who are sitting on it and investing in things or whatever, time will heal that too and bring it up over the course of time. And again, 3 to 5 years is going to be a good standard hold pattern for somebody who's trying to be somewhat of an investor in this space. All right, you don't have to be crazy. You could get a piece at a time, 1 or 2 from each set, and just hold. But over time, guess what happens? You have a massive collection. It starts to get really large, lots of product, lots of stuff sitting around, and then you realize the prices are climbing while you're building that collection. So if you got the space for it, fine. If you have the budget for it, fine. But I wouldn't go crazy all in, especially these days with Modern upon release. It gets pretty wild there. The Silver Tempest Elite Trainer box is at $75, $80 looks like recent sales there. Astral Radiance, you got that Machamp in there, really cool alt art. This actually has a nice, a little bit longer growth pattern here, and to see that a year ago this was still under MSRP. It's $40 MSRP on a regular ETB from the Sword and Shield era, and we just hit that in November. We were in the beginning of that boom with Surging Sparks kind of taking off, and this just hit MSRP. So the hobby goes all over the place, and it ebbs and flows. Pay attention, buy the bottom when you can, because this even dipped down to 35 for a little bit. Wow, crazy. Everybody was so distracted with other things, they weren't worried about this kind of stuff. And that's where you want to be looking out. If you can't get Prismatic Evolutions, turn around and see what you can get in the hobby from days of old. This isn't that old, but a few years back, and it might be something worth picking up because you're getting it for less than the MSRP, which is less than the new market value because it was a different era, and they usually change it by era as far as price point going up with inflation and things like that. But right now, this crazy climb has brought it up to $78, and recent sales are putting it higher than that at over $83. Brilliant Stars, we just gave one of these away. That was super fun to do for our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. We're going to do some Evolving Skies giveaway for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, so be a part of the channel. Check earlier in the video where I say that. This has climbed really well, going up into the $82 range, and the recent sales are putting it even higher than that. It looks like almost getting close to 90, 89, 89, 85, 85, coming just under 80, 90, 89. So kind of all over the place here, but looking like the $85 to almost $90 range for a lot of more recent sales on this one. Fusion Strike Elite Trainer box going up over that $100 mark, over that $150 mark. We're already in the $165, and recent sales are actually keeping it right on point with that. So that must be fairly accurate right now, although that listing looks a little bit inaccurate because it depends on what's available. And yep, people are pushing it up even further because this has had such good growth. They can do that. When you hold the cards, literally, the cards, you can be the one who dictates the price, and that's why these are going up a little bit in that 175 range rather than the 165 range from recent sales. Evolving Skies is the last one I want to talk about. We all know Evolving Skies is doing well. Interesting to see on the Elite Trainer boxes, they actually, one of them had a dip here, coming down from the 270 down to the 262. Not a huge dip, but it's fully recovered and overcorrected it. Well, not overcorrected it, but it's fully recovered and grown since then at 280 now. But this has been a pretty steady growth over the last year because of the hype around Evolving Skies, because of Prismatic Evolutions, the new EV set. So if you can get any Prismatic Evolutions at MSRP or pretty darn close to it, or work out trades that are worthwhile for you, that would be my investor pick right now to acquire some of that. Don't FOMO and go crazy and spend so much money. Just look for opportunity where you can get it at a good price, because it does exist right now. It is being printed right now. And while it could be right at MSRP or even a few dollars above, $5-10 for an ETB, something like that, if you can get a hold of it, then it's probably worth it to get in on it right now, because that's going to be closely related to Evolving Skies. I don't think it's going to be the next Evolving Skies, because there's no booster box. It's a specialty set. There's a lot of differences. However, the fact that there's all the evolutions, all as special illustration rares, and many more beyond that, it's going to carry a lot of weight in the future. Horribly hard pull rates, absolutely horrible. That is really going to also increase the value, because the difficulty of the set means the rarity of the pulls. It really does equate. And there's the Chance of God packs, the Master Balls, all of those things come into play. We're at 276 on this Elite Trainer box here. Crazy that Elite Trainer boxes are going there, although some of the Pokemon Center version with the stamped cards in the Scarlet and Violet era have already been exceeding that price range. But a regular ETB getting there, pretty insane. But it's all piggybacking off of this, the Evolving Skies booster box. We knew this one was doing well. I mean, a year ago, a lot of us saw this at 700 and went, wow, that came up quick. This is at 700 already. Unbelievable. And it looked like maybe it won't ever deviate from that. And people are looking at it, it got to 700. Ooh, it's down to 680. Oh, it's up to 703. Oh, it's down to 690. And it wasn't really staying there. It was just floating nearby. And then things changed. November changed it. Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, the hype off of Journey Together, not so much the reality, but the hype off of Journey Together and Destined Rivals, Glory of Team Rocket, Heatwave Arena on the Japanese side, all of that was really pushing it. Scalpers in the market, everybody's going nuts, and it's still a boom. It is. It's still really difficult to get product, but there are little differences that you see, little chances that you see available in stores, little stories that come up where scalpers are dipping out, a little bit more on Pokemon Center that they're fixing the queue system and increasing the sales to be able to reach more people. Yeah, it's less product because they limit it with one, but that's okay. It's a little bit for everyone, a little bit more often. And we see this all happening over time here as things are getting a little better in the hobby. But even still, while things are getting better, these things are climbing in the background. The Sword and Shield era is gone. They're not printing this. You won't see this on shelves. I mean, it'd be super rare if some back stock, new, old stock just shows up out of nowhere. I think that'd be kind of mind-blowing at this point in time. Sword and Shield is not going to be printed any longer. There's too much good stuff out of Scarlet and Violet to be going on for the printing side of things. So once this reached up after that $1,300 mark, wow, this thing got crazy. We were wondering why 700 was a plateau, 1,300 was a plateau, and now we've jumped up again. A big jump. Are we going to jump up like we did from the $1,000 to $1,300 mark, and then it's going to plateau again, sitting around this $1,500, $1,600? I mean, recent sales on this one is putting it in wild prices here, almost 2,000. 1945. All right. Wow, a lot of different foreign languages here. 2,000, 1999 right there. 1850, 1,500. Somebody was desperate. I don't know what's going on there. 1,800, 1,800, 1,750. Crazy. Crazy. 2,000 is where this is sitting for current recent sales, and looking pretty similar here. Not quite 2,000, 1,950, something like that. So in that neighborhood, Evolving Skies really taking off. And it doesn't have to take off without you. You have an opportunity to win this 3-pack blister of Evolving Skies from my channel here, V-Rule. Once you're a part of the channel, you have your opportunity to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm giving that away at 6,000 subscribers, and along the road, I'm giving away a card at every 50 subs along the way. I'm giving away a card every week based on my I Got It, You Get It shorts. I'm also going to be giving away 5 Pokemon mystery card lots for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway. I explain all this on many other videos, but especially in the beginning. And if you have no other reason to be a part of the channel, do it for my birthday. My birthday was yesterday, so just like, comment, and subscribe for that. And I do post 7 days a week, one form or another. So I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.